Hello and welcome back to another Premier League prediction show. We're now up to game week 18. These are the festive fixtures. We've got games on Boxing Day, 26th of December, and also games on Friday, which is the 27th of December. Some really important games at both the top of the table and at the bottom. And we start with Manchester City against Everton, and Manchester City at the moment cannot buy a win.
Yeah, absolutely terrible. They're down to 7th now, losing 2 on the bounce. One to Man United and one to Aston Villa, which, to be fair, was pretty predictable. Coming up against Everton, who are loving a 0-0 draw at the moment, being very, very tight. Terrible against Wolves, and amazing against Wolves, terrible against Manchester United slotted in there. So I can't see Man City losing to Everton, and they can't lose any more games, so 1-0.
Yeah, Everton rather. 4-0 in their last 6 fixtures. Manchester City find it very, very difficult to pick up a win. They did 4 game weeks ago, however, back at the Etihad, surely they can sneak a goal here. Phil Foden scoring his first goal of the season last time out against Aston Villa. In this one, I think they'll just sneak out. I've gone exactly the same as you, Nathan. I'm going to go for a 1-0 victory to the Citizens as well. Incidentally, Nathan, all these fixtures as well you'll find in the UK on Amazon. Next up, we got the first of the 3 o'clock kickoffs. We've got Bournemouth, the Cherries, coming up against Crystal Palace. Bournemouth fans will probably think they've got a bit of a nosebleed. They're at the heady heights of 5th position at the moment. An absolutely phenomenal win last weekend against Manchester United, away where they won 3-0. And Crystal Palace getting thumped by Arsenal 5-1. But prior to that, they kind of turned a corner. So they're going to make life difficult for the Cherries here, but I do expect Bournemouth just to sneak this one. I'm going to go for 2-1 home victory.
Interesting, yeah, I'm probably going to go 2-1 Bournemouth as well. I mean, 5th position, ridiculous form. Palace, as much as they're improving, Bournemouth just got a different gravy at the moment, so yeah, 2-1. Anyway, next up, we've got Chelsea, who are storming into 2nd place, slowly putting the pressure on Liverpool, holding their own. And they're coming up against a drawfest Fulham side, scoring goals and playing really well. So where'd you go from this one? But at the end of the day, both teams are scoring a lot of goals. Less so Fulham. They had a lot of chances against Southampton, just couldn't bury them really. So let's go 3-2 to Chelsea.
Yeah, plenty of chances for Fulham against Southampton. Harry Wilson going.
Just couldn't get them back in the net.
Yeah, close on numerous occasions. Chelsea, they drew a blank last time out in that draw against Everton, who were very, very resolute in that match. However, all under the fair. West London, Boxing Day. A great atmosphere there at Stamford Bridge. I think both teams will score, and I'm going to go for a 2-1 home victory. Next up, we've got Newcastle coming up against Aston Villa. Now, a few weeks ago, Aston Villa was sort of down in the doldrums, couldn't buy a win, but they got 3 wins in their last 4 matches, and I think they were absolutely phenomenal against Manchester City. Morgan Rogers, brilliant, a goal and an assist, and also Duran, who started that match instead of Ollie Watkins. Is he first on the team sheet now in front of Watkins? Who knows? But they've got choices there, haven't they? They've got options up front. Newcastle themselves, brilliant back-to-back wins. 4-0 against Ipswich away, and also 4-0 at home against Leicester recently. So in this one, another tight one. But looking at Aston Villa last week, I do fancy them, and I think they're going to come away with a 2-1 victory at St James's Park. Yeah,
both teams are looking incredible at the moment. I can't really decide who is going to take anything out of it. For me, it's going to be another goal fest. Yeah, Desmond's 2-2 for me. Can't separate them. Next up, Nottingham Forest up against Spurs. Forest, incredible, up into 4th now. European football's very much on the cards at the moment. Potentially even Champions League if they finish in 5th and the Premier League get that coefficient. But yeah, 3 on the bounce. Beating the likes of Man United, Villa, Brentford, especially Brentford at home. So grinding out incredible results. And then Spurs, ultimately, this is going to be a Spurs result, isn't it? They're in terrible form. So yeah, 1-0 Forest.
Yeah, defensively, Nottingham Forest in that match away against Brentford were excellent, scoring goals as well. As you said, the heady heights of 4th position. Tottenham, although they scored 3 goals against Liverpool, they defensively they were all over the shop, and Liverpool could have scored a lot more. This one, I think, defensively at home, Forest keep it tight, I think it'll be very, very close, this one. So I'm going to go for a 1-0 victory to Nottingham Forest. Next up, we've got bottom of the table, Southampton coming up against West Ham. Both of these teams in, well, form is all over the place. West Ham currently in 14th position, just the 1 victory in their last 6 matches, although they haven't lost their last 3. Southampton is showing signs, but they're
new manager as well.
Yeah, they're not a draw in their last fixture away against Fulham, so I think they'll score in this one, but I can't see them beating West Ham. I think they'll end up all square 1-1.
Yeah, I just think West Ham are too inconsistent at the moment, and at the end of the day, Southampton needs to get points on the board, so it's going to be a cancel-out job, especially at home for them. So yeah, let's go for 1-1. Anyway, moving on, 5:30 on Boxing Day, we've got Wolves up against Manchester United. Also another new manager in Vitor Pereira.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see how quickly he turns things around. And Man United, well, what an absolute shambles at the moment. Inconsistent, mid-table mediocrity. I don't know why. I can see Wolves with that squad I know is completely disjointed everywhere, just doing a number on Man United, 1-0.
Yeah, a new manager bounce did come into effect last weekend for Wolves after that 3-0 away victory against Leicester. I don't think many people saw that coming. Manchester United in disarray at the moment. 13th in the table going into Christmas. I don't think that's ever happened for them in the Premier League, apparently. New manager coming in hasn't really galvanised them, and I fancy Wolves to take all 3 points in this one. I think they're going to score a hat. I'm going to go for a 3-1 home victory to Wolves in this one. Next up, 8 o'clock.
Yeah, shocking.
On Boxing Day, we've got Liverpool coming up against Leicester City. Only one winner for me. Liverpool full of goals. Defensively, they could tighten up a little bit, but they have got injuries at the back there. So I'm going to go for a 4-0 victory to Liverpool. Leicester sort of looking a little bit jaded at the moment.
Interesting, aside from last time out where they absolutely battered Tottenham 6-3, Liverpool just tend to keep it quite low, 1-2-0, don't they usually? Ancelotti just likes to grind out games, and this is going to be an exact scenario of it. It's just going to be a tight, for me, 1-0 solid Liverpool victory. Moving on, Brighton against Brentford, really interesting, 5:30 on a Friday, day after Boxing Day. Brighton very up and down form, no wins in 5, getting the odd draw and loss in there as well, especially with teams around them, so they're not in great form at all for me at the moment. Whereas Brentford, really prolific homes, but starting to drop away from it now. Losing 2-0 at home to Forest as well, which is a bit of a surprise considering their home form, but Brentford away, not really convinced by him. Brighton needs to get more points on the board, so 2-1.
Yeah, that match against Forest, they could have had a couple of goals.
Yeah.
Wissa missed probably an absolute sit and should have scored against Forest. Brighton kind of dropped off a little bit of a cliff. This could go either way, but I think it'll end up in a draw. I can see goals galore as well. I'm going to go for Desmond's. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. Next up, and the final fixture of this game week, 8:15 on Friday evening, we've got Arsenal coming up against Ipswich. Ipswich look a little bit toothless up front without Delap, no real presence up there. Arsenal, they've lost Saka to injury now. Don't know how long he's going to be out with that hamstring injury, but Gabriel Jesus back in the side, scoring 5 goals in his last 2 matches in the Carabao Cup and in the league. So he's on form. Only 1 victory. Victor for me here. I'm going for a Gunners 3-0 win.
Interesting, I've gone exactly the same as you as well. 3-0, Ipswich at the end of the day, especially, well, away from home they've obviously got their 2 victories, but when they come up against a team in this sort of form, and Newcastle losing 4-0 at home would have knocked them back massively, so yeah, it's going to be 3-0 to the Gunners, isn't it?
Yeah, Ipswich in a little bit of trouble. Looks like Southampton's gone, hasn't it? And Ipswich look probably the most likely candidates to be relegated with Southampton, especially with Wolves picking up a little bit of form. So there we have it, guys. Those are our predictions for Boxing Day and Holiday Friday, I suppose you could say, in the UK. Make sure you leave your predictions over at the Superbru website. No match for us on Boxing Day, Nathan, following Cardiff City there. We're away and we haven't got tickets for that one. But come Sunday, I think we're on our way to Watford. And
Watford
as
away,
usual, will there be a vlog?
Yeah, there will be, probably out Monday, so check that out.
Fantastic. Thanks for joining us once again. Enjoy your Christmas. Enjoy the football over the Boxing Day period. And we'll see you all in the next video.
Hey, I got something to say. I'm just so sick of hearing everyone complain. I know it's tough and I know there's pain, but hitting bottom is the only way to change. So I'll keep hustling, you keep struggling. Bitch, I'm humbling, keep mumbling. I'll keep doubling, you keep bluffing. You've got nothing, I'll keep hustling.